Well, good morning, everybody. It's 10 a.m. and today is Key to Coaching for Mortgage Bankers. We do mortgage mathematics on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for all of our mortgage partners across the country. And boy, do we have a bunch of mortgage companies joining our team at the Hero Benefits Network. We do believe that you can enroll an army of residential real estate agents and create an easy way for your real estate agents to attract listings. And we like to say that we have the easiest job in real estate. All we do is give away money. Well, today's not a certification. We do that online at herobenefitsnetwork.org every day on demand. Today's not an orientation. We do that every day on demand at herobenefitsnetwork.org. So if you have never been to a certification, you can get certified and you don't have to pay any money to get certified or to participate in our program. And you can dip your toe in the water and get to know us better by taking a look under the hood of our marketing portal inside of the orientation. I will tell you though, thank God for Carrie Fitzpatrick. She's building more social media content for our real estate agents, our mortgage bankers, and our title companies. That portal is expanding every single day with more social media content, AI-driven videos, just fantastic work that Carrie's doing to help the promotional engine and the marketing portal of the Hero Benefits Network. This is Key to Coaching. So this is all about growing mortgage production with our down payment assistance and relocation grants. You know, there's a lot of teachers and coaches and professors and faculty at the schools in your market. There's a lot of firefighters and EMT and EMS and paramedics throughout the hospital districts that you live near, nurses, doctors, and all of the sworn law enforcement officers and the civilian employees of the sheriff's department and police officers and highway patrol. I've done multiple relocation transactions for the DEA and the CIA and the FBI from Broward County, Florida. As a relo agent in Southeast Florida, I was able to help a lot of DEA, FBI, and CIA. I also did a lot of work with the Florida Highway Patrol, Broward County Sheriff's Office, and particularly the Fort Lauderdale and Sunrise Police departments. So this is not our first rodeo. This is about 40 years in the making, but we're in the middle of a housing crisis. We're in the middle of an affordable housing crisis whereby teachers, law enforcement officers, and hospital employees have to work sometimes an hour or more from the markets and the communities that they serve. So we're in the business of dispersing down payment assistance and relocation grants. And what we have to do and what we need your help with is educating the real estate agents in those communities that you serve about our 501c3 charitable organization so that they can take advantage of these differentiators, these unique selling propositions to attract more business to them. My name is Russ Fitzpatrick. That's my beautiful wife, Carrie Fitzpatrick, in the center of the screen. And she's the center of that marketing portal and all that social media content that we give to our members to use in their local markets to spread the good word. And Randy Nemiroff is what I call the chief connection officer, because he goes out and he was bragging to me just yesterday about a new relationship with 300,000 firefighters in the Fallen Firefighters Association, and how he got them to sign and agree to promote the Hero Benefits Network among their 300,000 fallen firefighters. So, you know, we are the national sales directors for you as mortgage bankers, title companies, and real estate agents. And we want to teach you as a mortgage banker how to get in front of more agents. That's where the secret sauce of our organization is. That is the Trojan horse someone referred it to. You bring in something too good to be true, and then all of a sudden it starts to turn into residential real estate purchase referral business from a large audience of residential real estate agents that you serve. So excited to talk turkey about my experience over the last 4 decades in the residential real estate and mortgage space. I'm friendly with a lady up in Pennsylvania, very productive mortgage lender, works for the top 3 or 4 mortgage bankers in the country. And I've known her for about 15 years. And she recently placed an ad in her social media where she was hiring a business development manager to work for her as an originator. She was an MLO at an MBA, but she needed more bandwidth. This was the reality that she was facing is, if you have 15 real estate referral partners in 2024, you're probably hurting, right? You need 45 real estate referral partners in 2025, right? You need to expand the number of real estate referral partners that you have. And we want to build you some new, unique, and effective ways that you can grow your realtor referred purchase business. But the path that she went down, and I did reach out to her when I saw her ad, she was looking to pay $36,000 a year for a business development manager who had no experience in real estate, no experience in mortgages, just a kid who was going to go out and beat the bushes for her. And she had to pay HR and benefits and training expenses. She had to invest about 60 hours of her own time shadowing and training this individual. But after 4 months, she had little or no production and ended up firing, unfortunately, that individual business development loan partner. And, the truth is that she'll probably start over and over and over again because she realizes that realtor purchase follows realtor engagement. Realtor purchase follows realtor engagement. And we all know that as mortgage bankers, but we don't formalize, institutionalize, and industrialize our realtor engagement. One of the highest paid jobs I ever had was formalizing, industrializing the realtor engagement for a mortgage banker. It pays well because none of the MLOs do it. So we've got to get you as an MLO to formalize, industrialize your realtor engagement. That means you don't need a business development manager. You need a Hero Benefits Network contract and a Works Partner contract. That's what you need. You need $129 a month HBN zip code, and I think it's $100 a month, $125 a month for Works Partner. That's what I'm recommending. But if you did just one of the two, if you did just a Works Partner account or you did just a HBN account, you can go out to the Board of Realty like Pat Staffa did in the Gloucester County Board of Realty and enroll the Board of Realty themselves in a monthly event that is hosted by our nonprofit. You can go to a local title partner who will agree to host, co-host, and collaborate on another event each month. Or maybe you do 2 different counties. So you're up in, Palm Beach County 1 week a month, and you're down in Broward County 1 week a month. So, there's a fantastic way to diversify your realtor referred purchase acquisition. How are you going to formalize and industrialize your realtor engagement? If you look at the 3 titles on the lower part of your screen, we're using Essential Employee Crisis, How Realtors Can Help. We're using List to Last, the 2025 Realtor Roadmap. And we also took in 4,800 realtors through the Agents in Action Realtor Culture Club that became a phenomenon for residential real estate agents and the mortgage bankers that we serve. So thank you for being here on Mortgage Mathematics Monday, where we break down some of the key metrics for mortgage bankers in this opportunity. We also meet with our title agencies on Tuesday. So if you know a title company that's eager to build realtor relationships and eager to grow with our nonprofit, please refer them to Tuesday Title Tours on herobenefitsnetwork.org. And then last but not least, all of your realtors, 100% of your realtor community is invited to a Wednesday workshop that we do for realtors every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And that's all live broadcast through our social media and at the herobenefitsnetwork.org. So excited to have you on. A consumer direct value add solution for top realtor referral partners in an essential employee relocation network. Boy, that's a mouthful. I'm going to say that one more time. We are essentially providing you a consumer direct value add solution, but we're not doing it in a way that takes from your realtors. We're giving to your realtors, your top referral partners. So you don't have to decide like that scarecrow between going consumer direct that way or realtor referred that way. You get to combine your consumer direct and your realtor referred purchase business in one essential employee relocation network. This is the exciting thing after 40 years of doing this, that we're able to now offer you exclusive territory licenses from as low as $129 per month. So if you can't make a $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 investment in your realtor acquisition, your realtor engagement, you're not going to get back $15,000 in commission bips. You know, what I live for, and I've lived for this since 1986, is I build products that you can spend a dime, but you make $1. You spend $129 a month, you make $12.99 a month. You spend $1,300 a year, you make $13,000 a year. Every product that I've used since I was literally a teenager, I'm not kidding. I got my residential real estate license when I was 18 years old, and I would go out to buy owners and expireds and absentee owners and go out farming. And every ideal that I stood for in relationship to every customer I've ever had was spend a dime, make $1. I knew that if I could just create a little VIG, a little bit of a tax, a little bit of a toll that was not offensive for the bridge you wanted to cross, that we'd be in relationship for a long time. And I mean that sincerely. If my toll is worth more after you spend it to get across the same bridge you're looking to get across, we're going to be friends for a long time. So exclusive territory licenses from 129 was built with that spend $1, make a dime mentality. When you look at how it works, it's pretty damn simple. You know, essential employees, law enforcement officers, firefighters, teachers, first responders, veterans, and active duty military can register at the herobenefitsnetwork.com is the primary portal for the consumers. .org is the primary portal for the back office stuff that we do with our realtors. So we own both herobenefitsnetwork.com and herobenefitsnetwork.org. And we're trying to do a better job to seamlessly kind of navigate three industries in mortgage, title, and real estate, and the consumer direct audience, which is about a third of the nation's population. About a third of all the humans in the United States qualify for Hero Benefits. We TO those referrals right to our realtors, and they do a 3-part process for us called wants and needs analysis, vetting for red flags, and relocation grants. I want to highlight a term that was questioned this week by a mortgage banker, relocation analysis. Relocation analysis. We're going to spend a few minutes on relocation analysis at the end of our time together today. So don't worry, I'm not avoiding the question. I want to address the question of relocation analysis. But essentially, 1, 2, and 3 is about what a relocation analysis includes, but I've added some direction and some clarity for you, and we're doing some individualized specific training on the relocation analysis project because I think it's a unique selling proposition. I think the opportunity to evaluate a relocation before you make your move is a professional service. So we're taking the kind of the wants and needs analysis that's a standard business practice for residential real estate agents, and we're expanding it to include some cost of living and property taxes analysis, insurances analysis, and ultimately a mortgage comparison from where you live now to where you're moving to. So once we've done that work, once the realtor has done that initial work with the customer and they've vetted them against any red flags, we can go ahead and refer them over to you as the mortgage banker. Remember, I've been a realtor for 40 years, and I've probably been the most loyal to my mortgage banking partners of any realtor in the country. I literally use the exact same mortgage loan originator for like 22 years straight. We never varied until I spoke at her retirement party. And by the way, she never paid me a dime. I didn't take any bips. We were just a terrific, I like to refer to it like a WWE tag team wrestling team. Like we just tag in, you're in, I'm out, you're in. And we knew seamlessly what each other was going to do in a professional, proactive approach to move the puck down the ice, right? And then 3 stars and 3 arrows down, we've got the title company, which are typically statewide exclusive partners with the Hero Benefits Network. So it's a nice one-stop shop. If you see it through our eyes, we're really coordinating something that the customer has been screaming for since about the 70s. You know, why do I have to go over here for my mortgage? And why do I have to go way over there for my real estate? And why do I have to go to this other vendor for my title? You know, to have a seamless one-stop shopping experience is a goal of every mortgage executive that I know. How can we leverage the residential real estate community? How can we partner with the title vendors? And how can we do this all together? Well, our program is the only one in the nation that is free to realtors, for realtors to accept and exchange referrals. There's no monthly cost, no upfront cost whatsoever for realtors to be a part of that. Now you compare that to Homes for Heroes. Just to do a transaction, I think the realtor has to pay, I think it's a couple $1,000s before they can even become a Homes for Heroes. I don't know the exact figure, but I know that it's been told to me, many people tell me, everybody tells me it's very expensive. So our system is subject to referral fees, and the realtors can upgrade their portal to have some exclusive territories if they want to, but it's not a requirement of our program. So you can go out into the community that you serve and provide this resource to all of the realtors free from any charge. Now, these come in every single day, and I only pulled this one up. I hope there's a date on it. Yeah, look, 2/17 right there on the corner, 7:29 a.m. You know, we get inquiries from employees. Okay, remember I said 300,000 fallen firefighters. You know, the Police Benevolent Association, the Fraternal Order of Police. You know, these associations become a conduit to a large audience of employees who may be thinking about buying a home, in this case, or thinking about selling a home in many cases. So these are not loans. They never have to be repaid. They're not going to affect the consumer's mortgage viability because there's no credit check to get a grant. All they have to do is prove that they're either a sworn officer or a civilian employee of one of the 9 categories of essential workers that we serve. So what happens in your world is you get these relocation grants referred to you after they've gone through the process. Or in some cases, you might be hosting a home and garden show in Hickory, North Carolina, March 1st through the 3rd. Or you might be at the National Association of Realtors event or the local board, and you're meeting realtors and you're cultivating realtors that are going to become certified Hero Benefits Network representatives. We call them benefits directors. So those darn vouchers, they never expire, and they never go away. So the only thing that we've had happen many times is someone will go in and do one for a purchase and get a voucher for like $4, $5, $6 grand, and then they'll go back in and see how much they get on their house that they're selling. So it turns out to be an $8,000 or $9,000 or $10,000 grant from us to them. And guess what, guys? Those serve as some pretty fancy fur-covered golden handcuffs for those cops and firefighters that are out shopping. They don't lose these vouchers. They have 4 digits on them, sometimes 5 digits. So someone asked some compliance questions, and I always find that mortgage bankers especially like to hide behind compliance when they don't want to spend money. But, I'm going to show you how we've passed muster with 6 of the largest mortgage lenders in the country from a compliance standpoint. And I could show you how we, abdicate the responsibility of compliance to the local licensed vendor. So licensed entity conducts all transaction activity. That's first of all. We don't do any transactions at the Hero Benefits Network. That is a local licensed vendor that conducts all the transaction volume. We are also a licensed residential real estate brokerage so that all the referral fees can be sent to the Essential Employee Relocation Company and that they can be processed by a residential real estate licensed brokerage facility. Then the money is then donated to our 501c3 nonprofit. Once that donation hits the books, we're able to disperse those donations in the form of relocation grants or down payment assistance or down payment help or incentives or rebates or whatever the hell you want to call it. We call it relocation grants. Donations are processed and dispersed as relocation grants by HBN. So if you're buying a home, you're relocating. If you're selling a home, you're probably relocating. If you're talking to a realtor, you're probably relocating. So donations are processed and dispersed as relocation grants by HBN. Number 5, grants are subject to local, state, and federal law. So if you know something we don't know, and there's one type of a mortgage product or one county or one city or one state that prohibits this, we have not found any governing body that objects to 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't found any governing body that says that if a licensed entity conducts a transaction and a licensed entity receives the referral fee, that the receiving referral fee company can't donate that to a 501c3 and then process the donation and then disperse it as a relocation grant. We haven't found one zip code, county, parish, or state that objects to that. But I do let you know that the grants are subject to local, state, and federal law. So if you find out something that we don't know, please let us know right away and we'll amend our protocol. Grants are subject to mortgage underwriting guidelines because you know the term non-allowable. You know what that means in an FHA VA transaction. You know that when low money down transactions are happening, and a lot of times cops and firefighters are doing FHA deals. You know that. Teachers also. You've got, double income, no kids buying expensive houses, but you've got single income, cops and firefighters and teachers buying their first home on an FHA mortgage or a VA mortgage. Well, some of those funds that we provide back as grants may be deemed non-allowable if the seller is also contributing to closing costs. So you know those underwriting guidelines, and you know that our grants are subject to mortgage underwriting guidelines. So that's why we leave number 7, that the title agency and the mortgage lender directly, all of those credits that we're recommending from title agency and mortgage credits are at the sole discretion of the local licensed vendor, aka the underwriter, right? We're not going to allow you to jeopardize your relationship to a wholesaler by circumnavigating the underwriter requirements and the underwriter stipulations. So remember that number 7 is built to protect you as the local licensed vendor and to know your mortgage guidelines in case you've already reached the non-allowable level of contribution for down payment assistance or relocation grants, even helping with closing costs or buying down the rate as a lender credit. So a lot of times, we'll have like a $1,000 lender credit mixed with a $500 title credit and maybe a $2,000, $3,000 real estate credit. So you combine all those up and you've got a $3,500, $4,000 credit. The consumer's thrilled with that, right? The consumer is thrilled with that. But in some cases, your underwriter, your mortgage processor may say, let's just give them a lender credit of $1,000 rather than go through, the post-closing donation. Let's just go ahead and give them a credit on the closing statement from the lender. And that is absolutely within your sole discretion as a mortgage banker. So, and remember, number 8, infinitely important, the consumer themselves enjoys 100% freedom of choice inside or outside of our network. So golden handcuffs have fur on the inside and they're very comfortable to wear. And golden guardrails keep me in a sales funnel by my own choice. I don't want to go outside of the network if I'm getting $6,000 in relocation grants to buy a house, And sure, I have the freedom of choice, meaning, and I tell the cops this, I tell the firefighters this, I tell the teachers this every single time I meet with them. We've aligned forces with some of the most reputable, high volume, professional mortgage bankers in the country. Okay. And we've also aligned forces with local title agencies that we've vetted and real estate agents that have been certified to work with our Hero network. But if you ever are unhappy with a mortgage banker, if you don't feel it, if you're not feeling it, you can absolutely go outside of our network and get your own title company, get your own mortgage company, get your own real estate agent. So far, in the 40 years that I've been doing this, it's a few decades, I haven't lost my capture rate too often. Been a couple episodes of nepotism where a family member owns a mortgage company or something like that. And then they usually become a Hero Benefits Network mortgage banker after that, if there's any exclusive territories near them. But remember, the consumer enjoys 100% freedom of choice. So when the network is built, it looks exactly like this. So let's say you're out in Texas. We've got to find a Texas title company. If it's an attorney state, we've got to find a Texas attorney. Then we've got one mortgage banker probably per county because it's very, very cost effective to manage a county for a local mortgage banker. And because they're the exclusive in the county, all the realtors that are under them flow up to them in their county. So you could see an average county. I think my friend just did the entire municipality of Houston, right? So the Houston metro market might have 25,000 realtors in it, right? So is it reasonable that we get 40 or 50 or 100 residential real estate agents that want to participate in the nonprofit down payment assistance and relocation grants? I think it is. And most of my mortgage bankers kind of do a big kind of like, duh. It sounds like a no-brainer to most mortgage bankers. So, we go on year after year certifying real estate agents for free in your area as part of the local board of realty, as part of the local title company endeavor. And then we add different classes, like Bill Litton up in Pennsylvania is doing a Dominate Your Geographic Farm Area course, which we host for him. And this is a 6-week coaching program that he's hosting with one of the local RE/MAX offices. I'm just going to tell you what he said. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said, I got to see this crap before I go in front of the RE/MAX agents. I don't want to bring something into the RE/MAX office and look like an idiot, right? So he went ahead and downloaded the on-demand course and took week 1. And he said, holy shit, that's detailed, gritty, proactive, professional, matter of fact shit. That ain't nothing that anyone's going to balk at. I never had a real estate agent leave one of my classes saying I was full of shit. Never once. Because I tell the truth. So we do a class called Geographic Farming. Realtors come in. They go, holy crap, that was a lot of value in an hour, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was. That's called farming, right? We're teaching farming. But what I want you to think about, what about Michelle Lusk? Michelle Lusk is the chief nursing officer at the Catawba Valley Medical Center in Hickory, North Carolina. The chief nursing officer is responsible for overseeing all the nurses in the program at the hospital. The CNO oversees the entire nursing facility. Okay. So when Bill's Remax office up in Pennsylvania is thinking about farming, they can think of a geographic farm area, which is a subdivision typically, or a niche like equestrian farm area, or a tennis club farm area, or farming a particular golf community. But when Hero Benefits Network agents, when Hero Benefits directors think about farming, they think about all the nurses at the Hickory, North Carolina, Catawba Valley Medical Center, right? So they don't think of farming a golf community. They think about farming a group of nurses. So then Michelle has a bunch of sub supervisors, like each different supervisor manages each different nursing department, right? And they do all their work together. So this is a finite audience of eager, ever willing participants that are more lucrative than a subdivision farm. And we do subdivision farming, yes, but it's more lucrative to farm a group of employees because the employees don't cost as much money to farm. You got to spend about $1 a house, $1 a house per month to farm a community, but you don't have to spend $1 per nurse. The nurses are easy to access. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to be in Catawba County, and we're going Catawba Valley, I should say, and we're going to do a realtor event live in person. List to Last, Essential Employee Relocation Network, Hero Benefits Network. Tap into the gold mine, become certified and referral ready, dominate your market, and we teach your realtors how to use relocation grants and relocation analysis to get in more living rooms, to get more at-bats with the nurses, right? So if they were going to farm law enforcement, if they're going to farm teachers, each of the subsections of the categories of the communities of employees that we serve are individual or independent farm areas. So we are hosting March 7th in Catawba Valley, and Cross Country Mortgage has joined us as a Hero Benefits Network mortgage banker, and they're able to corral and curate all of the certified and referral ready realtors in that market. So they become a fulfillment partner for us, and they're an integral part of the relocation grant calculation system that we use. And you'll learn about that in a proprietary orientation available at herobenefitsnetwork.org. This is all about you building a realtor sales force, isn't it? To give 50 realtors in your community new open house flyers, but not open house flyers about the house itself, but open house flyers about the real estate savings for that realtor to be able to attract interest, create conversations, and develop loyalty with the person that just walks through the front door of an open house. This is a difficult business that we are in. 70, I think NAR just pronounced that 72% of all members didn't sell a house for the first 6 months of 2024. And it was something like 58% never sold a house last year. So they paid their board dues, they paid for their license, they paid for everything, but half of them didn't even sell a house. So we've got to do things to empower, enrich, implore our residential real estate agents to get out there and do good follow-up and to start taking listings. Well, I taught Larry Steinberg's with Keller Williams, and I taught him that a third of all open house attendees have to sell a house before they buy a house. 1/3 of the people who walk through the door have a house to sell. So what a great way to attract interest, create conversations, and develop loyalty. Some people think that Golden Guardrails is a negative, but with 100% freedom of choice, you guys go outside. I got my dogs barking now. Essential Employee Relocation Hero Benefits Network comes with 100% freedom of choice. But the relocation grants, the down payment help, maybe we're going to buy down the rate for a point. Maybe they're going to pay a percentage to buy down their rate. All of these funds that we're giving to the consumer act as the furry golden handcuffs and the golden guardrails that keep them engaged in our sales force over time. So here's formally what we're proposing. We want to collaborate with realtors. We think that realtor purchase follows realtor engagement. We think that for your title companies and your mortgage companies, realtor engagement is the key to forward realtor purchase referrals. Well, we build a four-legged stool, a one-stop shopping experience for your mortgage lender, your real estate agent, and your title company, all within the umbrella of the nonprofit 501c3 here at Hero Benefits Network. So you got four legs to hold up a very stable stool so that we can start targeting about 400 real estate agents per county. Some counties like Houston might have 20, 30,000. I think Broward County has over 25, 30,000. Dade County, 30, 40,000. So each county is different. We sell our counties to mortgage bankers for about $500. I mean, there's a handful of counties that are more than that. Some of the monster LA County, San Diego, San Francisco, where there's a lot of exodus going on, where a lot of listings are happening. Those expensive, overpopulated, high cost of living communities, they might sell for a little more, but most of our counties are $500 for a county. So you're able to create a true one-stop shopping experience within the nonprofit down payment assistance and relocation system. I want to shine a light on this for some of our mortgage bankers that are new. Free meeting rooms at the Board of Realty. That's been a kind of our boon for the past 20 years. Free meeting rooms at the public library. I was fortunate enough to meet a mortgage banker in Houston recently that's doing getting ready to get ready, but we're putting together some live and online events throughout the Houston metro market to attract not only realtors, but also the essential employee hero market in Houston. So we can use the public libraries that are absolutely gorgeous and have these beautiful meeting rooms. And you'd never even know it if you've not been in those public libraries. They're all free, especially when you're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You can use those meeting rooms for free. Another group of meeting rooms that are accessible to you is with builders and developers. If there's a particular condo development going up that has a clubhouse, or if there's a community center in one of the developments, those builders and developers will eagerly collaborate with you as a mortgage banker to host local realtors to come and see their development. So in addition to those live in-person meeting rooms that are free from any charge for most of you, we do weekly Wednesday workshops with your realtors called Key to Coaching. We do weekly live online certifications with your realtors. We do on-demand certifications, and we produce open house flyers. Now, what's coming, which will be another bullet here, is professionally developed video social media content for your realtors. That's what we've been working on for the last 90 days internally, to be able to produce high quality, high resolution social media content videos for your real estate Salesforce army. So that's when this nonprofit, this little fledgling 1-year-old nonprofit, is starting to become the juggernaut of social media. Because if we have currently, 1,700 to 2,000 certified realtors out there, and they're all using our social media content to attract essential employees and first responders and veterans, you're going to be the benefactor of that marketing engine, aren't you? As the mortgage banker, you're going to be the benefit. So the secret to our success has been local boards, title companies share the burden, and third-party endorsement from our HBN campaigns, which is going to include a thick pot of social media content, including some AI-driven videos that are really fantastic. We handle all the invitation and ticketing and promotions. We are easily able to find real estate referral partners that want to collaborate with you. And then the next level is when the realtors go out and start building relationship with the HR directors that promote us for free. Remember Michelle Lusk, the chief nursing officer? When we earn her trust and respect, she's able to add us to a banner ad in her internal intranet, right? Affinity works with consistency. I know so many of you have tried Affinity in the past, but you weren't consistent with it, just like a farm area. You've got to farm those nurses over time to enjoy the fruits of that labor. So we just stand for and believe that realtor purchase follows realtor engagement. Now I'm going to do a few little metrics here that I do almost every week because it's nauseating how much money you guys spend on consumer direct. Buying leads from Zillow, Realtor.com, LendingTree, and Google was one of the executive level decisions that I always disagreed with. I thought it was absolutely silly and a huge waste of money for most of our mortgage bankers. And it was primarily because a quarter of the people that you bought a lead from, you couldn't even get them on the phone, much less get them to go to contract, because there was too long of a window between when they clicked on Zillow and when they actually did a 1003, right? So you've got evidence piled up over the years that consumer direct is a tough racket. But realtor referred, 97% of the people talk to you and 20% of them go to closing. So you've got this, you've got a decision to make to go consumer direct, but you've got another decision to go value add consumer direct with your realtor partners instead of against your real estate referral partners. Don't try to beat them to the lead. Collaborate with them to the lead. That's what you want to do. You don't want to beat them to the lead and then, we beat you. We want to go to the leads together with our real estate referral partners and be in business with our real estate referral partners. The decided metric in realtor referred purchase business is credit pull to closing, and it's close to 25% nationwide. If I can get that realtor to endorse me as his mortgage professional to, advise that client on their upcoming relocation, I'm going to close that deal 25% of the time if I can get them over the hump. So whether you want to specialize in police officers, you want to specialize in military, you'll have one realtor that her husband's a cop or a firefighter and she wants to specialize in firefighters. You've got one husband who's his wife's a teacher or a principal and he wants to specialize in schools. So either way you do it, you have the power of the associations and the HR directors to attract customers directly to you, and then to build this mutually beneficial down payment assistance or relocation grants through the Teachers Union, through the American Legion, or through the Police Benevolent Association. I want to switch gears. We'll go ahead and wrap up on the conversation of harvesting and industrializing your residential real estate referral partners. Quite as simple as this. You get us a database, or we get you a database of all the real estate agents in the community that you serve. You go in and make sure that about 25 broker owners or team leaders are in it, so that you've got a healthy number of leadership personalities that are in your database. And then we just invite them to lunch. So if your lunch was an absolute bust, you'd have 15 agents there. I've never sat in a room. Well, that's not true. I've done a few empty seats, but for the most part, getting 15 agents to show up at the local board of realty isn't difficult. So we're going to use a low benchmark to manage your expectations and to operate the Hero Benefits County as a marathon, not a sprint. It's January's lunch is essential employee housing crisis and how realtors can help, right? February's is the geographic farming class that you're doing at the Board of Realty, and you had 15 agents show up. And then March, you had a bunch of realtors come in for the the staging program that we've done for almost 30 years and have graduated 88,000 realtors from. So you've got, proven content, relevant, timely information sitting with you at that lunch. You get 15 agents show up, you end up cumulatively with 45 agents. So out of those 45 agents, only 15 of them fell in love with your hero network. Remember, they can cherry pick what they like. A realtor could come in and love farming, but not want anything to do with heroes. Another realtor could come in and love heroes and not want anything to do with farming. So some of them will see our pet-friendly real estate agent network and they'll go, I want to join the pet-friendly real estate agent network. You never know what value proposition is going to attract what realtor. And that's because there's a wide variety of real estate sales personalities out there, right? But I can assure you that you'd have about 15 agents out of the 45 attendees. And what about the value of top of mind awareness for the other 45 attendees? You think they remember you after they broke bread with you at the Board of Realty so that the next time you reach out to them, there's a more relevant person on the other end of the call? But I just want you to imagine, 15 real estate agents out there with 2 or 3 relocation grant vouchers each. That quickly becomes 45 to 60 additional transactions per year in an exclusive county or an exclusive zip code. It definitely is a passion play for us. This is definitely a purpose-driven organization. We like people who buy in at a cellular level. We like them to really become invested in the Hero Benefits Network. We don't want realtors to kind of join up and then stick it in a drawer somewhere. We want them to live, eat, drink, and breathe the essential employee relocation network that is Heroes. This is a perfect bolt-on, and this actually speaks to compliance as well. Most of your organizations at the mortgage level have an affinity program. This is simply a bolt-on to your existing affinity program. This is just a more formalized, if not industrialized, way to infiltrate the real estate community with your affinity program. So we simply certify real estate agents and get real estate referral partners to transact with you. And I don't think it's unreasonable for you to grow your transaction volume by 4 transactions a month within about 90 days from today. It takes about 90 days to get your first 3 events under your belt where you've brought the realtors together, and those realtors will then start to barter and fight over exclusive zip codes or counties too. They're not required to ever own a zip code. They don't have to buy a zip code to join the Hero Benefits Network. But if they do join they become the exclusive representative to a particular entity that's within that zip code. And you'll learn more about that during certification and orientation if you haven't already. So enough said on all that. I want to take a few minutes for my friend Jimmy out in Houston, who asked about the relocation analysis. Top listing agents fish like professional fishermen with outriggers. And what outriggers do is they provide different types of lures being cast at different levels of depth and different widths away from the boat. So you've got an outrigger system for an elite real estate agent, and that is how they attract listings. Okay. Now, that means each listing agent in your community needs to have multiple sources of business, meaning I'm working with the BNI, I'm working with the teachers union, I'm working with a geographic farm area, and I also am a member of the Young Republicans Club. Let's just say. So he's got 4 or 5 sources of business, doesn't he? And then within those sources of business, he's casting lures of multiple value propositions. So back in the old days, recipe cards, holiday cards, school calendars, an annual calendar. I mean, remember those little widgets, trinkets, that stress balls and all that garbage that realtors would use to differentiate themselves or to create muscle memory within their geographic farm area, right? So they would use multiple value propositions within their sources of business. Now, today, you see guys like Mark Spain and Lori Reed are using guaranteed cash offer. These are the highest volume listing agents in the world, not just in the country. They are the elite 60 listing a month rock stars. 60 listings a month. And I'm not kidding. Okay. They use unique bridge loans that can help a customer buy their house before they even sell their house. They use staging services so that they can differentiate themselves in the sea of sameness. So they have to have multiple value propositions within a larger multiple sources of business. So you hear the term free CMA, or how much is your house worth? How many of your realtor partners use newsletters or reports? This is how the top listing agents in the country get sellers, or the big fish. The big fish is the seller, right? How do you get that big fish to come up from the bottom and come up and bite your lure, right? How do you get that blue marlin to come up? That's the one you want. You don't want the guy thinking about buying renting a 1-bedroom studio. We don't, that's not the one that we're fishing for. We're fishing for the $700,000 homeowner that wants to list and sell his house. Well, you've got to cast multiple value propositions through multiple sources of business to get that to happen. Well, the Hero Benefits Network is the future of elite level advanced selling systems. I used guaranteed cash offer. I used 60-day sale guarantee. I used buy now, sell later. I used staging. I used free CMA. I used how much is your house worth. And I had some of the best homeowners association newsletters known to man. And I have thousands and thousands of realtors across the country that use these systems that we teach them. But what we're doing is we're putting a ripple in the pond by working with the human resources director, first doing a human resources consultation and providing human resources support to that human resources director through perk plans and relocation grants and down payment assistance. We can help your police officers live near or in the communities that they serve, in or near the communities that they serve. We can help your teachers live in or near the schools that they serve. We can help them navigate the homeownership affordability crisis and provide them some assistance in down payment or relocation grants so they can help with their closing costs or their moving expenses. And we can work with those human resources directors through consultation and support and perk plans. Perk plans is the vehicle that allows the employee to benefit whether they buy or sell a house or not. They don't have to buy or sell a house or not to use perk plans. And then, out of respect for Jimmy's question out in Houston, what is professional relocation analysis? What could that be? So if we're an essential employee relocation network and a young cop in Houston is thinking about moving out to Waco to get a little bit more affordability, or a Houston, Texas firefighter is thinking about relocating to Luckenbach. I don't even know if that's true. I've only been to Luckenbach once. I know it's not much of a city, but I just used it as a joke. But, is he willing to move out of Houston to get similar pay in a lesser populated, dense community so that he can afford to buy a house? So professional relocation analysis is about a professional service to evaluate the economic impact of your upcoming move before you make it. This is one of my passions right here, to create not a disruptor, but additional value to the client. You know, I was one of the first agents in the country to use staging as an envoy into listing appointments. You know, I would offer a $699 free staging evaluation. If you were thinking about selling your house, we would do that for free. And believe you me, the customers that got the staging evaluation never questioned the value of it. It was intensely valued with a 6-page report, and it included pictures and suggestions and good, better, best ideas. And it was just an incredible entree into a relationship with a seller. We also hosted the Great Neighborhood Garage Sale, which was a community event where we could help people who were thinking about selling their home liquidate all of their junk before they put their cluttered house on the market. These are just ways that we differentiated services to the residential real estate community and the sellers of the communities that we serve. So relocation analysis is a service provided by Hero Benefits Network to combine the real estate housing market, the mortgage market, the title, insurance, other insurances, property and casualty insurance quotes, property taxes, and in some case, state income tax changes of which they're not accustomed to. You know, if they're moving to a state that has state income tax from a state that doesn't have state income tax, you've got to provide for that in their cost of living analysis, right? So we can forecast the expenses that they're going to incur on the relocation. We can even introduce them to the career leaders in the communities that they're considering. So let's take this relationship and not think about a transaction right now. Let's think about value to the end user, value to the cop. So the cop says to me, I've been living in Houston for 20 years. I'm in the drop program. I'm going to retire from the Houston PD. I'm thinking about double dipping my pension, take my first 20-year pension out of Houston, go ahead and move. I want to move into New Mexico, or I want to move into Arizona, or I want to move into Colorado. And I want to find the right station for me. You know, I want to find the right place where I can live and work. And I want to live near the community that I serve. Here in Houston, I've got to live way out there because it's too damn expensive in town, but I have to work in town. It's just crazy. I got to drive 45 minutes, an hour to come into town. And I have relatives that are cops, and I have friends that are firefighters, and I have many, many contacts that are teachers that live a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour away from the schools that they teach at and the fire stations that they work at. So if you don't believe there's value in relocation analysis, you don't understand how essential employee relocation works. You've got to give value before getting any value. You've got to do a staging analysis. You've got to do a staging evaluation before you take a listing. You've got to do a free CMA before you take a listing. You've got to do these unique selling propositions to attract that big blue marlin up from the bottom of the sea to bite on that big, beautiful lure. And then you've got that at bat. You've got that one chance at bat to build a relationship with this person through kindness and nurturing and using your God-given skills to develop a report, which we will teach, train, and coach our realtors how to do these reports. They're very, very easy to do with the data that we have access to in 2025. So thank you so much for being on today. If you're a mortgage banker and you haven't yet bought a county, just reach out to herobenefitsnetwork.org and get to know us better. Thanks so much.